Welcome now, Olivia Marie Padilla.
Hello, can you all hear me? All right, so let's begin. Obama signs executive order banning the Pledge of Allegiance in schools nationwide. Van full of illegals shows up to vote for Hillary Clinton in 6 polling places. Donald Trump offering free one-way tickets to Africa and Mexico for those who are wanting to leave the country. This past election season was a series of unprecedented and shocking occurrences, but the previous headlines that I just mentioned were not among them, and indeed are completely false. They did, however, circulate the internet and stir up quite a bit of outrage. Now, one might make the argument that there is no serious problem with this, because we are all entitled to expressing our opinion, and free speech is protected. However, over the course of this speech, I will be showing that just because you can do something, just because you have the right to do something, does not mean that you should. And it certainly does not free you up from the obligation to constantly be examining the morality of your actions and always looking at the consequences of all the things that you think, say, and do. If we are to utilize the criteria provided to us by the 4-way test, we can reach a conclusion as to whether or not the production of fake news is ethical. So let's begin with the first criteria. Is it the truth? Now, truth is a tricky concept, something that is difficult to define, because it might seem inherent to us all, and I'm sure that most of you would agree, that you can determine what is the truth. For yourselves, that is. Because philosophers since the beginning have realized that what is truth for one person might not be at all true for another. And they know that the closer an individual gets to trying to define exactly what is the truth, the farther away one is from reaching a consensus. There are 2 main philosophies on truth, however. Some are in favor of the absolute truth doctrine. They believe that there is an inflexible and undeniable reality, and that this is the truth. Others think that intention is key. So, for example, if an individual believes themselves to be speaking the truth, then this is also honest behavior. So, then let's combine these 2 approaches and again consider the production of fake news and ask the question, is it the truth? The answer is quite inarguably no, it is not, because it violates both of these perceptions of truth. On one hand, fake news does not correspond in any way to reality, and those who produce it fabricate facts to communicate a dishonest message to the public. And then on the other hand, and perhaps more importantly, the production of fake news is dishonest in its motive. Those who participate and distribute fake news do so consciously and with the ill intention of misrepresenting information to the American public. So after considering if it's the truth, let us now consider the second criteria. Is it fair to all concerned? Now, unlike truth, fairness is easy to define. Merriam-Webster Dictionary describes fairness as being, quote, marked by impartiality and honesty, free from self-interest, prejudice, and favoritism. And again, the production of fake news fails in this aspect, because with the production of fake news, even though it is recognized that everyone is entitled to expressing their opinion, no one is entitled to masquerading their opinion as fact, and that is where we see the problem. One cannot publish bald-faced lies or even misleading half-truths and claim to be impartial or honest. Let us further recognize that in addition to what I just said, fake news also betrays the trust of one's audience, and this is equally unethical. The Pew Research Center in December of 2016 found that 64% of American adults surveyed said that fake news caused, quote, a great deal of confusion surrounding just the basic facts of current events. Now, this is a stark and serious statement because it directly underscores the very real problem that we see with fake news. The fact that this fraudulent practice muddies an already confusing political landscape. Whenever fake news saturates our marketplace, it puts at risk the integrity of open and honest communication between us all, and it also further compromises the reputations of legitimate news sources. So having discussed that, this brings us finally to the last two criteria of the four-way test. Will it build goodwill and better friendships, and is it beneficial to all concerned? There is a political divide in our country. I and people my age have grown up in an area like this, in a contentious environment, and we know no different. My mother, however, assures me that this is not the way things have always been, and it certainly is not the way things need to be now. However, if we are to observe the news, it is undeniable that things seem more antagonistic, and political discussions between us and our politicians are quickly becoming more toxic. Problems have escalated both domestically and globally, and in the face of such adversity, we as a country should be uniting. We should be able to recognize the very legitimate concerns of other parties, as well as working with them to bring our own concerns to the table and working together to achieve and secure our future. Fake news does nothing to facilitate a beneficial discourse. It does nothing to better friendships, and it certainly serves as no wholesome benefit to society as a whole. So whenever we have examined these four criteria and applied them to the four-way test, I believe that we have indeed reached a consensus. Fake news is not the truth. It is not fair. It does not better friendships, it does not build goodwill, and it certainly serves as no benefit to society as a whole. So what I propose that the headlines should read is that fake news fails the four-way test. Thank you.